right, everybody. Hello. 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 How are you doing? What's going on? What's happening for you today? I hope you're doing well. Let's see what's going on for my peeps. Okay. Navigating by the stars. I talked a lot about Saturn in moving into Aries this weekend. I talked about that in the ancestor reading yesterday. Rejuvenating rain. Really? Been raining for days. Been raining for days around here. I hope it's rejuvenating. Come on now. Clear the past, heal the present. Journey by moonlight and embracing enthusiasm. So next week we have a new moon in Gemini, and that is a time for you to change the channel, change the story about what you're currently looking at. I feel like we're going to have a massive shift in the energy of just our day-to-day living. Right now, there feels like a very heavy energy today. I'm doing this reading on Thursday, but it's for Friday morning, and it just feels super duper heavy to me right now. So, embracing enthusiasm would be a total awesome thing, a totally awesome thing to happen. All right, underneath, 8 of Cups, 9 of Swords. Look at this. Chariot, World, 8 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. Okay. There's definitely this thing about trying to move forward. These two cards are forward movement, right? 8 of Cups is moving away from something that isn't working for you, but then there's anxiety about it, right? There's anxiety about it. Then it's like, okay, I really do want to move forward and close this chapter, move into a new chapter, but I don't know how to do it. Okay? I'm not sure how to do it. That just makes for like no movement. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Wow. Lovers. What is this? 6 of Swords. There's the moving forward card again. Embracing enthusiasm. Wow. 3 of Pentacles, King of Swords, 2 of Swords, and the Hanged Man. Wow. So I am just feeling like I've seen this a couple of times here this week, where there's this beautiful movement forward, a lot of movement forward, and then an obstruction. And the obstruction can be other people. Okay. The obstruction can be other people, the energies of other people. And with all of this sword energy over here, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, I'm almost feeling that King of Swords, 2 of Swords, I'm almost feeling that there's something about how you think, how you're thinking about this is holding you back. And it has to do with maybe how you were raised, how your mindset is, that you're looking for problems, you're looking, you're feeling the energy of moving forward, and yet you're stopping yourself. This is stopping yourself. 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords is the energy of saying, hey, there's something in the way. Now, this reminds me of, in a big way, whenever we get treated a certain way in our life and we expect a certain behavior back, we start to expect it even if it doesn't exist, right? Like if you have had an unpredictable upbringing where every time you get happy or every time you're moving forward, you're excited, you're doing things, the other shoe drops, that's purposeful. That's likely somebody else not wanting you to move forward. I feel like you're moving forward in a great way here. There's lots of love and joy and happiness and possibilities and opportunities. King and Queen of Cups, the Lovers card, 6 of Swords, Sun, 3 of Pentacles. There's lots of positive there. It makes me feel like there's no reason that you're fearing disaster. Okay, you expect disaster. Every time you move forward, you're expecting it. And now you move forward and it's like, oh, sunny sky, what? Things are good. Things are fine. What? I'm allowed to be happy? This should show you that there was a pattern, that every time you did something that was good for you, somebody else tried to destroy it. And you got used to it, so maybe you started doing it. You started destroying your possibilities. Self-sabotage. And so now I feel like you're starting to see that maybe you did do some sabotaging. Maybe you did have some people around you who weren't really on your side. And I'm just getting this sense of your power is growing. Your energy about this new chapter is here, right? This good stuff that's coming in, that's here. There's no need to look around and be like, when's the other shoe going to drop? Because it's not. That was someone else's doing. And they made you into a person who expected it, expected adversity, expected terrible things to happen whenever I got happy. Wow. So you sabotaged yourself for a good long time until you became so strong and so powerful that you kind of blasted through. All right. You kind of, you burst through, which is really awesome. I can see this good stuff coming. I will say to you that the year that I was, Soulful Revolution really grew, I was having panic attacks every night because I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for the happiness to come to an end. I was waiting for that. And it never happened. It never happened. But I was like, every day expecting to be out there, getting rained on by bowling balls. And it didn't happen. So what is this down here? This King of Swords and this Two of Swords. This is almost like some of you have really decided to gird your loins. Anytime you go toward happiness, you're just so sure that it's going to get stepped on by somebody. Who do you have around you who's doing that? Where does that come from? I feel like that's the thing to kind of pay attention to. Believe in magic, embracing enthusiasm. Wow, good stuff is coming in. Do you have some kind of Eeyore person around you? This King of Swords person is somebody to me, this is saying really detach from that way of thinking, because this is thinking, right? Really protect your heart, really detach from that way of thinking and start to see things from a new angle. Start to have a different perspective, because perspective is super important. And I do remember I was in my 30s before I really got a handle on perspective. And it's still a challenge for me, because if you have a way of looking at the world, it's called a cosmology. I talked about this when we were in Sedona. If you have a way of looking at the world that says, every time I get happiness, I'm going to get kicked in the face, then that is what's going to happen. And somebody trained you to believe that. That's where you're going to start. Not just oh, well, I'm just not going to believe that way anymore, because it needs to be uprooted. That needs your attention. That is a red flag of problems from the past. It needs your attention. It needs your discerning eye. It needs your ability to have or learn the concept of perspective. And what a cosmology is a way of looking at the world. So, like I said, if you believe you're going to get kicked in the face every time something good happens, and then it may not happen, but you kind of are waiting for it and you kind of make it happen. We want to be right more than we want to be happy sometimes. And so this is a chance to really move out of any kind of self-sabotaging behavior. And the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups are here. And this 8 and 9 of Swords, we're getting to the end of it. We're getting to the end of this. I feel like you're really aware of this. The new perspective, there's the Ace of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. What's at the core of this is some kind of rage, some kind of cosmology, a way of looking at the world, which is what that word means, that you grew up with, that is based in rage about things being unfair to them. And even if they were born on third base, believing that the world is unfair to them, and that is what will happen. You will bring about the circumstances that say, hey, this was unfair. So what's being asked of you, because it's built in rage, it's built in shame, it's built in very low vibrational energy. So what's being asked of you here is to have a new idea. And I feel like that's what's being born in you right now. It could be, I mean, astrologically, yeah, Saturn moving into Aries, okay, taking back our power, Pluto going retrograde, all these things. The energy of the time is saying change and transform and create the life you want. Live that, embrace it, embrace enthusiasm, journey by moonlight, believe in magic. Believe in magic. And that is what will happen. I am so Sagittarian about this. I really, that to me feels super optimistic. But this is the flip side or the shadow of what growing up means. Okay, so we're in Saturn moving into Aries this weekend. The shadow of Saturn, or the shadow of Saturn is that when you grow up, your heart dies. That's the shadow of Saturn. Okay. The constructive side of Saturn is being able to handle responsibility, being able to work with the new ideas that come into your life, being able to create partnerships and love relationships that work, be able to communicate well, be able to work through problems with people, be able to adult in a way that brings satisfaction. And is everything going to be, rosy and cheery and fairy dust and unicorns? Probably not. But if your cosmology is that adulting, growing up, is constant drudgery, then you're creating that life as opposed to having freedom and independence. And what does that mean? Does that mean, oh, wow, like I've created this life that really has me a slave to certain things. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be a slave to a credit card balance. I don't want to be a slave to a credit score. I don't want to, live my life in a corporate environment that doesn't believe in intuition and doesn't really support that. So that means you can feel powerless, which is what this is. 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords. Nope, shit's never going to get any better. I hear it all the time. I hear people saying it all the time. Nope, shit's never going to get any better. Or you can take on the responsibility of making it better for yourself. And that does have a lot of responsibility to it, because you're willing to go against the grain of other people around you who have a kind of a dog in the fight in everybody being miserable. If you're happy and that makes other people angry around you, it's really because they wish they were doing what you were going to do. And I see this detachment from, it's sort of like, if I'm not doing what everybody else is doing, it's like the crabs in the bucket. They try to pull you back into the bucket. But it's also, if I'm not doing what everybody's doing, then my anxiety gets ginned up because I'm like, ooh, I'm not doing what everybody's doing. What if I'm not putting aside enough money in my 401k? Oh yeah, it gets wiped out routinely every 10 years. all right, I've decided that I'm not going to continue to live like this. Well, then what are you going to do? And how are you going to make that happen? That's very Saturn and Aries. That's like, I'm striking out into my independence, and I am not going to be a slave to this old world. But it makes you kind of more needing to like build stuff for yourself and not hide in an old collapsing paradigm. So what is it? Because I see good stuff here. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, the Lover's card. You could literally be having a partner coming in who fires up this radical independence in you. Together we can change the world. I don't doubt that for a minute. I don't. Woo! All right, let's see where we're going with this. If you want to continue, if this is your reading, there's a link below. Let's see where it goes. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.